Mike of Van and Melonine, and well met indeed. I'm Aragorn Company, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, but welcome back to DCI Last Alliance as we continue on as Rhovanion in the Second Age. Our army in the last episode took Mistrand, and I've renamed it, as suggested in the comments, Atalf's Rest, which has opened up my eyes to something I've been sorely neglecting in the entire time I've done this, is asking you what we should name the towns. And now the reason I'm always hesitant to do that is because I in absolutely no way will ever name anything a stupid and childish name, and it will always need to have meaning. And so I've always feared that people would suggest things that there's no way I'd ever name it that, and so you'd all be disappointed when you all vote for something and I completely ignore you. So I've never opened it up, but Atalf's Rest was a good name that I'd not thought of, so thank you very much for that. And the next time we have somewhere to name, I will throw it open and see if we can get some good suggestions in, because I am running out of names, as people have suggested, and Atalf's Glory, or insert dead general's name here's Glory, is often the name I give to towns, so we need something a little bit different. But our attacks on Roman, of course, went very well as well. And to my mind, I was thinking about this before we went running on Sunday. To my mind, we've won this campaign, and I'm just kind of now waiting for Rune to actually be defeated. But I think we're at an end turn, so that's where we shall start, by actually ending the turn. So we shall go from there. The replacement for the Dol Amroth campaign will be starting up next week, and I'll do at a point this week. I'll sort of cut off the vote and then decide what to do. And I do say decide what to do because if I think the vote is very, very close, then I'm just going to do what I want and not take the vote as canon. And the reason that is because the vote is purely informative. If the vote came in with 4,000 votes and 3,500 of you said do Dol Amroth, then of course I can see that the overwhelming majority want to see another Dol Amroth, and therefore to talk about it plainly, it would be a more popular series. Whereas if you are all really close and it's really half and half, then I feel like I should do what I want to do the most, because many people often suggest that what makes the most entertaining videos on the channel. Minister Nor has been called an invasion on.
These are dark times.
Oh.
The power of Sauron is growing fast. His core reaches far across Middle-earth. His armies are ready to plunge the free peoples into darkness. He amasses great forces and his war in this country will come swiftly. He is so close now to achieving his goal.
This is rather long, isn't it? Blimey. Well, an invasion has been called, and a Tola Khan has been cancelled on Harlond. Oh, interesting. So anyway, so if the vote is very, very close, I will do what I want to do, because I think then that will give the most enjoyable video to you all, and I've yet to decide or see what the vote actually is at the moment, and yet to decide what that will be. But because as I say, I don't know. At the start, the vote was very, very, very close, but I haven't checked on it for a couple of days, so I don't know if it still is. So I'd be interested to see where it is at. But every vote basically on this channel is always informative, and unfortunately, where there is no clear outright winner, I do think doing what I want to do. I can do what I like anyway, I don't need to explain it. But doing what I want to do, I think, would give the best content for you all. For example, if you all voted for me to play as Mordor, you'd get the most boring campaign you've ever seen in your life, because I hate Mordor, and I would loathe playing as them. But anyway, let us turn back to this campaign. So, Roman, I don't think we'll attack that. We'll probably let them waste themselves in trying to kill us, and then we can take the city that way. 4 turns. Although, actually, we ideally want to get moving, don't we? Because Usumgalu, has come for Azelf's rest, and we don't have the best forces.
There will be much honor in defeating you.
What type of troops has he got? Oh no, he's just a gathering of those that could stand and fight, isn't he?
Yes, my lord.
Down here, though, we don't need to... Oh, yes, of course, we lost Kamboshka, didn't we? To a single unit, no less. All right, Eirik and Arnulf,
Your orders, my lord.
two great generals. Go and build me a watchtower, first of all, and then head on and take Kamboshka back.
We shall engage.
I saw we had some troops free somewhere, didn't we? Oh, hello. We have some here in Old Donovan. I'll take those. And I know Rhovanion had an archer unit, but I'm not sure we'll bother with that. Keep the spy there for now, and let's give them... It's only 4 turns. I just don't want to have to assault the city. Attacking cities is always a risky gamble. I'm not really willing to risk on that. We need our army in case anything does happen. I've seen... I was reading the Total War Center thread for DCI today, and someone made mention of a Haradrim rebellion. So I feel like there are little hidden events that are going to crop up every now and then. So we've just got to be ready for them. Oh, they've sent an agent there. Rune and the Numenorian kingdoms are at war with each other. So despite the fact that I'm hammering down their doors and they're cowering in the corner of their halls, they've decided to go on the invasion. Oh, you absolute morons. The AI is such a bad commander.
We shall prevail.
Oh, dear. Oh, well. That frees up our army here. We won't sit inside. I'll leave those behind, How much does it like us after that? Did I kill everyone?
With honor.
I did, didn't I? That's why it's got not making any money at all. Yes. So we're going to need to convert it to our culture. So let's start with the mead hall. And King Fritigern, if you could give us some towns.
Will keep vigil over the lands.
That's Morad. Oh, that's all Morad. That means that town there is one of their last. Roman's down to 3 turns. I think they'll attack us when it gets to 1 turn. Whether or not they actually do anything remains to be seen. And by that, of course, they won't do anything at all because we have overwhelmingly powerful cavalry, unfortunately. And I've followed my sort of unsung rule of not having more than 2 generals in an army of the same type. So I don't mind having, say, 3 or 4 generals in an army if one of them's a cavalry, one of them's an archer, one of them's a spear, one of them's a sword, because then they all perform different roles. But if you have 4 cavalry bodyguards in one army, I always think that's a level of cheese I try to avoid. Oh look, we can just we can just sneak in and take that.
We shall prevail. Yes.
Surprise, surprise, they don't like us. Unfortunately, armies that are part of... Unfortunately for Rune, armies that are part of invasions can't stop to fight other people. Well, they can do, but it's sort of frowned upon. And so that's why they didn't stop to attack at Kamboshka, because they could risk losing troops to disloyalty. Which is how invasions work. Invasions in Divide and Conquer have long since been tweaked, and they don't start till about turn 120, because we found overwhelmingly that unfortunately invasions are a surefire way of the evil nations killing themselves off without ever putting up a fight. As Rune is proving right now, they have a full banner army that they could have used to help secure their heartlands, and instead of use it, they've sent it to Minas Anor. Although it looks like the garrison of Roman has just increased. Perhaps that's just my imagination, but to me it looks like it's just grown. But the dwarves have come, which I find quite interesting. Aha! And Rune comes. Now they challenge us. Captain Kashbu. Eastern tribesmen, Balkoth tribesmen, Eastern tribesmen. An army of nothing. And Captain Edu is the runic spearman. Let us fight them and tear them asunder. As I'm sure we shall. We have good news from the Divide and Conquer side of things, and I do hope to do a developer diary, possibly this weekend, to update you all on where we are with that. But so far things are looking very positive that the crash that we saw in the Dol Amroth campaign has completely been neutered. Not entirely certain yet what it was, but we're getting more and more reports from our beta testers that they are not having that crash 100, 120 plus turns into the game. So it's seeming very much like that crash is gone, which is fantastic. And just otherwise as well, there's another fix to there was a crash to the High Elf campaign that was fixed this weekend, so that's good to see. Arcade's just added the Karos Galadon remake, so there's lots to see and talk about, so I think a developer diary would be rather fitting. We do only have 4 weeks left of faction overviews, could you believe? We are really rapidly getting through those. Oh, look at that. And away they go. Alright. Same again, please. Oh, no, look, you just got caught. Oh, and now I'm all over the place because I'm playing at ×6. Run away, run away, run away. Run away, run away. No, stop fighting them. Oh. No, we're getting in a right 2 and 8 now. Charge into those for me, would you? There are 119 of them. You're at full speed, you got your spears down. You carved right through the middle, but some of you have stopped for some bizarre reason. Yeah, you killed about 20, that'll do. They're running away over there. How many have we killed? 37% of the enemy has died. Now, what I need you to do, you're going to charge into those Eastern Tribesmen, and you're going to charge into them as well. And hopefully that'll sandwich, that'll kill off the most of those. Yes. Just keep them guessing, keep them guessing. It doesn't, we could lose all but, as long as the actual generals live, it does not matter how many losses we take. Which is why generals, generally speaking, if you'll pardon the pun, are rather good for practicing cavalry command, because they're very expendable. But again, as long as your general doesn't die, if your general dies, they are not expendable at all. They can switch on a coin from being super expendable to being an entire battalion lost because one person died, which is always very annoying. They've turned around, they've turned around. Oh, they didn't turn around. But we got 2 charges in at least. Pull away. Pull away. And then both go back again. Charging head on into spears, generally speaking, is not advised, but we just need to keep them in place while our secondary charge arrives. And there we are, down they go. So endeth the lesson. 11 men died. Hundreds of our enemy fell. And that, I mean, that just goes to show, I say it a lot, I know, but you don't even need to be that good with cavalry. You can play at ×6 and leave them accidentally, and you'll still get an overwhelming victory.
Honor, victory, an honorable.
Ah, Arnulf has a wife.
My lord, our courage and honor
We
have
shall get
conquered.
more people into the family. Why do you not particularly like me? Cultural unrest, apparently. What's the best thing to counter that? We could do public order. We could finally build a town hall, the first one in the game. But no, I'm going to go for a meat hall. Donovan got its practice range, so it can get some better units. And is that the highest tier of the ranges? No. Oh, of course, we need to be a fortress. Yeah, we're never going to see the top tier, I'm afraid. I think this campaign will end long before we ever get to use the highest longbowman. Unless we were going for a complete world domination. What this playing DCI has really hammered home to me, and indeed all my time playing DAC, but DCI has sort of cemented the thought in my mind a little stronger, is that perhaps upgrades for towns and cities and castles should maybe not be linked to the population, but instead be linked to some sort of building. Because, as I've just said, we are almost certainly going to win this campaign long before we ever upgrade Donovan. So, to see that those top units, we may never see the highest longbowmen before we win the game. Same with the units from the barracks. Again, they're called highest, but we probably will never see them. So that's 3 of our units. That's quite a large chunk, to be honest, of our roster that we may never fight with because it takes so long to upgrade towns and cities. And it's a similar problem, although slightly lessened in DAC, because we did lower a lot of the population requirements. But I'm just wondering if we've not gone far enough with lowering them. But then it's always a bit of a hit and miss, because the AI, unfortunately, does tend to build buildings faster than the human player. And the AI, I believe, does get a... No, we took away their population growth bonus, actually, didn't we? So... they don't get very many bonuses at all, really. Oh, yeah, go on. I'm just wondering, thinking of a more dynamic way of upgrading towns, because the population the method of using population just basically means many of your towns will never upgrade. You'll play 120 plus turns before you ever see something, some use out of certain towns. And that obviously just seems like too long a time. Oh, we're going to get the dwarves involved. Oh, yes. Oh, where are the dwarves coming in from? Because we can get them to do most of our dying for us. They shall be coming in on our right-hand side. And the computer... I can command the army of my allies. No, I don't want to do that then, because we'd only get 2 units.
There'll be no escaping us.
I didn't know that you could do that.
Attack!
That's interesting. But anyway, what we are going to do, as I say, is pull over to where the dwarves are and let them go on the attack. And then we'll just sneak in and finish the enemy off when need be. Ah, no, look, the dwarves are coming in from miles away. They're coming in from about as far away as it's possible to be, which is not going to help us at all. But I really want the dwarves involved. But I don't think there's any way for it, really. If we try and run our army away to the dwarves, the battle will just be like 5 straight minutes of our army running. So we'll fight them, I suppose. So archers, if you would, come and pull here. And then take our full line of defensive spears. Group those together. Stand them in front. You guys go about there. Yep, and then we've got a few javelin units. We've got 3 javelin units, in fact. You can come and stand in the gap in the middle. Don't worry about where we're going to put you properly in a second. Yeah, we've got 3 units of cavalry with 1 cavalry archer. We'll get all of those to come out on the side. And then the Rigsvar, you can go on the left. And take the 20 with you. Don't run away, please. Right, yeah, into positions. Something that we're also thinking of doing in Divide and Conquer. Hummingbird is a large proponent of this, is possibly the biggest proponent indeed, is removing the negative effects from effects. What are they called? Battle abilities. Removing the negative effects from battle abilities is something that we plan to do. But then battle abilities hopefully are going to be addressed sort of mod-wide in DAC. That's something that we hope to do in the coming years, I don't know, months, weeks. Alright, so let the enemy come and break upon us. Throw your javelins, do what you can, and then we'll send in the cavalry to end it. We have to use the mini-map to help today because it's foggy as sin. But here we have some eastern archers. I think we can charge into those. And you guys can charge into those. In they go. Reichista with Theodens up behind. Oh, and we've got a unit routing. Oh no, there's a runic spearmen that were already routing. But no, almost the entire army is routing. Good job we didn't leave it to the dwarves then. There's nothing to do.
Half the enemy force remains.
Some high rune axemen over there who are still fighting on.
We've captured the enemy's general. That will teach that cowardly dog to behold how our
and it ends. 65 men died. I don't care. Got the silver golden sword. We don't really give out golden swords for ridiculously simple victories like that.
Victory! The settlement has fallen. Take the spoils of war.
The settlement has fallen, and the people are dead. Oh, we got the poultry pastures in Zaunik. You can give us a farm now. Oh, look how much money we made out of that. Thank you very much. Rune homeland. Rune means the far east, and due to the distance, little about it is known in the west. Dwarves tell about the Oricani Red Mountains, where 4 of their houses have their mansions, and the oldest legends tell about Hildorian, where men once awoke in the First Age before they walked westward. These areas of Rune are where the most frequent contact is upheld with Rune, and here fighters of the east occasionally arrive in companies to offer service to the warlord in the name of Sauron. And... oh, have they got a blacksmith that we don't have? Yes, I think they do. But what we're going to need is culture, and we probably can't do 2 at once. That's just not worth it, is it? The army marches. We'll leave behind 83 of you and 93 of you.
Finish them! Victory!
And there we are. Nicely done, men. So this is Morad, isn't it? Oh no, Lower Rune. Oh, of course, Aini. We've got to go for Aini next. And we will do. No trouble. Oh, Altaelf's Rest doesn't like us. Altaelf's Rest doesn't like us one bit. But the Northman culture is rising. Is there anything here we have no use for? No, everything has a purpose. Everything gives something to us. So we shall keep them all. Mataram only has 3 more turns, and now is one of only 2 provinces that Rune has left, I think. Do we have another spy? Yes, Theodomir. Head off down there and find out what's going on. Where does the rest of Rune reside? A chief factor in the somewhat simple fight to this point is that, of course, Rhovanion doesn't have any other enemies. Mordor is absolutely, and quite rightly so, fixated entirely upon the Númenóreans, and possibly, to an extent, both Lothlorien and the Woodland Realm. Maybe even the Men of the Mountains as well, actually. Oh, it would be a right pain in the neck if Rune managed to capture Minas Anor, though. We'll have to go on a good old jaunt. Outerguard built its mead hall, and we want growth here, really. We've got everything. Oh, no, sheep pastures. Yeah, let's get that in. Kamboshka got a grain exchange. Let's give you more of our culture. Their forces are amassing at Mataram to put an end. Upper Kand is held by Rune. Oh, and there it is. And it is, of course, their capital, where we find Ulfang, the Immortal.
Your orders, my lord.
Yes, an order.
That's the real army, of course. The army at Mataram is actually not that great, but then I don't think Rune has very much to stand against us with. So it's a bit of a race now. Can we take out Rune's last 3 regions before they capture Minas Anor? Because that's quite a walk away. And I'm not too keen, if I'm honest, on walking all the way to Minas Anor. But if we must, we must. If we are to call in and save the Númenóreans, then so be it. Let us hope that they repay our kindness in some way. Gold is often mostly welcomed. Right, we've arrived. Oh, you've made a grave error and the time for our attack has come. Yes. Saratu of Sparta is defending the few runic forces they have here. But a nice, simple victory will fall in our lap, as the AI has committed a cardinal sin and stood next to the city. This is a level of cheese that I am taking advantage of here because it doesn't matter anymore, you know. I now can quite confidently say that we've beaten Rune. And so I'm not really too bothered if we do a little cheesy tactic like this. Normally I would only use a tactic like this if we are really up against it. Like the Dol Amroth campaign, for example, where we're pulling out all the stops just to not die. But here I don't think it matters as much. We still have to actually fight them, but we're just doing it a bit cheekily, really, aren't we? Now our main enemy is going to be over there. The reinforcements will come in from over there. So this plain here is where we want to prepare our forces. We've only got 3 spearmen now because we merged the losses from the last battle. 2 javelin troops, the Rigsvar and the elves. You guys come on the right, and cavalry. You guys go on the left.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Oh no, they're coming from right over there. That's interesting. Right, so cavalry. Can you go and finish these guys off? The 2 of you should be enough, and everyone else. Let's turn. Do we think we can run to the top of that hill before the enemy gets to us? I don't. But we'll try it anyway. Why not? Off you go, everyone. Get up on that hill. Rigsvar, I don't really want you fighting downhill. Come and stand there and just protect our flank. Scouts, I will tell you what, actually. We might have a use for you. Scouts and cavalry archers, we can use you to harass the enemy.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
The cavalry archers have proved really useful. Where are you going? Oh, that's because that's where I told you to go. Right, we can speed it up while everything's sort of ticking through.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
That's almost certainly that enemy there, dead. Oh, that is quite literally that enemy dead. Alright, and the other side, how are we doing? Our cavalry archers are firing, and I think our other units are now all in position. Oh, yes, they are. It did work. Perfect. So we've got ourselves a nice little hill. Mounted longbowmen. You guys don't worry too much about... Oh, no, they're not actually running. We'd have to chase them down forever and a day. So, go and finish those off for me, please. And the ground forces will deal with the other army then. Don't run away.
Behold how our cowardly
Oh, High Rune Guardians. I've not seen that unit before.
Guard him well and make it so he can see us defeat the rest
They're
of his
cavalry.
army.
Spears down. Brace! Brace! Oh, they carve right through the centre there. Are they sending anyone for the archers? No, they're not. So, let's go and stop their archers, shall we? Move you guys around. Javelins, fire at will. And our generals have won on the other side, so let's get them involved.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
You're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. There you go. Go on, go on.
Bloodied. They have
Oh.
lost half their men.
Not really sure what how they sort of just passed through the unit, didn't they, rather than actually attack it. Alright, now we'll use you as melee forces.
Behold,
And it's over.
awed by the victory we have won
Oh,
here
actually, did I
today.
just end that too soon? I think I did, because we didn't kill the general, did we? Damn it! We've just absolutely ignored the whole reason we fought this battle. 168 Madrout archers. So, Aini will now have a garrison, a very small garrison, because we didn't capture everyone. That is my mistake, and I hold my hands up to that. But we all make mistakes. And we can just... The siege here, I imagine, will be 4 turns, maybe. Something like that. Ooh, spinning mouse. Oh no, it killed all of those, and... No, they do get the garrison.
Fate of all who oppose us. An order. Finish them.
Yeah, Saratu survived. 101 runic spearmen, sadly. We were very close to having that army killed off, but no, in my haste, I've made a great error. A grave error, you may even say. Something that we can do, though, is... Donovan. Are you training any more troops, Donovan? Yes, there you go. Train those. And if you could send all of those forward, because...
Your orders, my lord.
You...
Yes, my lord.
Fourth Win, what are you? Ah, right, Keister. Arnulf.
Your orders.
Head off to Atalf's Rest. And Eirik, we'll hold you there for now until Captain Marhold comes through. And then we'll move you accordingly. Now, is there somewhere further south that's held by Rune?
Approaching quietly.
Yes, they hold Lower Cand as well. So we've got a long way to go, actually, before we beat them out. But that's okay. We'll get there. And speaking of getting there, we've arrived at the end of today's episode. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. There'll be 2 Erdluin episodes this week as well. And they will follow in the coming days on Wednesday and Friday. And then whatever campaign replaces Dol Amroth will be next week. But until we speak again, dear friends, Nevair Naden Pedabad Melonin, my voice is going, and farewell.